Hey everyone, welcome back to AFOLs Only with your host, me, Jeremy, and
Me, Austin.
in today's episode, we're going to take a look at the news. A lot of stuff coming out from all these little conventions and toy fairs and stuff that's going around. I'm really excited for some of the stuff coming out, like Lego Mario Kart. What about you?
I like it. I'm definitely probably gonna pick up the baby Mario Kart ones because I think they're funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too thrilled on the overall build of Mario's like cart because you need to get the big fig Mario still to like it doesn't come with one, which I feel like they could have increased it by $10 and thrown one in there, but they still want you to buy that Mario starting kit.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only downside I see to a lot of these. And my biggest gripe is going to be the fact that a lot of them are brick built, which I'm not against. It's the fact that Mario's not brick built and Luigi's not going to be brick built and Peach isn't. But yet here we get a Yoshi, we get Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Toad, a Lenny, and DK, and they're all brick built.
Yo,
Like,
Donkey Kong's gonna be like the main star though of this thing
yeah, no,
because
he is 100%. His like build is so great. It
it
makes
is
me
a really good
wonder
one.
why I don't know why continue with the digital line of Mario, how they want to have like the scanner and the batteries and the code. I'm like, it seems fun, but as collecting wise, I mean, like last thing you want is like batteries dying and electronics malfunctioning on these things. And with Mario Kart, they could have done a whole new set on it, but they really want to sell you that starter set. They really want to sell you that starter set.
I mean, if the I think the starter set's like $50, and
Yeah.
if I could just buy the figure on its own for even $20, that would be fine. But I really hate having to say like I have to buy a starter kit, which you don't even see the starter kit anywhere on shelves. You have to go online to get it, and I'm worried like eventually they're just gonna retire it, and then you're gonna have all these features that don't have this thing. Like when I bought the NES, there's a little barcode you can put him on top, and he'll do sounds with when you turn the TV. And I'm like, oh, that's my incentive to get him, but I can't ever find the starter one on shelves. And I feel like they could have like at least put that Mario with his cart to make it. It's like this is a cheaper set to get him in, but I'm still like I don't understand. Like we have brick built baby Mario and brick built baby Luigi, but we have to stick with this computer one. Which don't get me wrong, it's actually a cool little thing. His like he has a little screen on him, but I think it's sort of going to be a fad, like a lot of the other things that Lego does
Hmm.
with technology.
Yeah, I think it's either one or the other, right? Like I need it to be either all brick built or everybody's electronic. What's cheaper? Everybody's brick built. It's more uniform. It's Lego's way. I mean, even the original Legoland back in the one here in Florida, it's straight up like you look at the original builds. It's literally like Vikings and wolves all built out of Lego pieces, and they were like people shaped until they started doing like the Lego movie like Emmett and Ninjago, and they started doing like everything minifig brick built. It's like, why not just do all of Mario brick built? And at this point, when you have a new launch coming in, because it's Mario Kart, this isn't no longer just it's Super Mario, it's Mario Kart theme, but it should just be Mario Kart and do everybody that way. You can continue to have your old Mario sets and go back to them, but I think you should have just done everybody brick built because I would love to have a Mario brick built in this size, in this scale with the carts and be able to switch them on and off.
I mean, I'm looking at some of these like the definitely I'm gonna pick up the baby Mario and baby Luigi
100%.
kit.
100%.
I mean, because you can see they have a new mold piece for the shells, so you can have a
Yeah, I like that.
green or red shell. It looks like they have a regular minifig torso, like as their body.
It kind of does. I mean, from the
Like
pictures.
that's a minifig hand. But
Yeah, it's
I
kind
mean,
of
I
weird.
love it. I love the difference in like Mario's got his little tub, and then Luigi's got this hot rod because everybody knows Luigi's like mad dog in these races.
What I think is crazy is that I think these shell pieces, I don't know like if they're like three pieces or something, but they remind me of like the rupees from A Legend of Zelda, and I think they're gonna be maybe that's a piece that's gonna be used in that set as well for like because the currency in Legend of Zelda stuff. But I do like the piece for the shells. It's very unique. I do like the rides. I like DK's Barrel Racer or what is it? The Donkey Kong and DK Jumbo. I guess that's the name of his cart, but like it's hilarious because he's looking a barrel, and it's
No,
DK, man. Like DK, like come on, you gotta
is
love
that a
DK.
cape? Does it like so he's got his tie too. So
Yeah, he had his tie.
that's gonna be really cool. I like that. That's I like his hand pieces. Those are new pieces. It looks like.
I do like
Um,
that. Yeah,
and then you get the little bananas one. I think this is a great way for that. Mario Kart is like such a staple,
it is
just like every other Mario game. So
in
it's
the
like
family genre. Yeah,
it's I mean, I'm surprised that it's taken them this long, but it was a necessary it was just a necessary step to make to keep this theme alive. And I have a feeling like if they continue this way, like they'll make other carts and all that, and this theme could probably go on for a couple more years.
I think it's a very. I think it's a hit. I think it is a hit when it comes to new themes, like and trying something. Yeah, Mario has been around maybe a couple years now, but that electronic Mario and some of the sets are really cool. But I really would go after them for some of the unique builds of the characters, like the Yoshi. I love Yoshi, so I go after the Yoshis if I can get them like on the low or something.
Hmm.
But I think this is a hit when it comes to trying something new within your with what you can do, right? Like if they had Mario, they could have done maybe like, they've been doing Super Mario games for their sets, like the Luigi's Mansion one's really cool, but unfortunately for me, it's the electronic stuff. You have to build it to put the stickers on or the tiles and do the whole thing. This is straight up just I actually can drive the carts around and everything can be my own track and it's Mario Kart. Like, and you're giving me, and to start off with all these different random, this isn't just Mario and Luigi. This is, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Lenny, DK, and some of the Toads and the Yoshis. Like, this is funny because it's already like they gave us a diverse cast and we can already have a diverse cast playing. The only downside is that if you want Mario to be in a cart, you have to buy the starter cart and you have to buy the Mario starter set if you can find it.
I mean that's in my opinion that's the main downside is just that like you have to buy another set in order to complete another set. Which I mean it brings back to like you know what I've been saying is like I like when Lego makes two sets that you can combine to each other, but in this way you need to have one to do the other. Like I think you like with the Mario Kart, it looks great. You get the little parachute, you get the new shells, you get a Toad that is made specifically for that,
Hmm.
and you're missing the main thing. You're missing the main person. That's like what if they made they made an X-wing without a pilot, or they made Ninjago without ninjas. Like
Don't you ever say that again.
that's what it is.
No,
All
you're
right,
right, and I agree with you. That's why I'm like, that's a real big downside, and I wish they would. I mean, and who knows? I mean, maybe it's down the pipeline, but they're trying to squeeze what they can out of that big Mario fig for now. But I do think it's a hit, in my opinion, and I think it should. If it sells a lot, it's gonna stay around. I think.
I believe that too. I'm definitely gonna pick a few of these up.
Exactly. I know in other news, Lego and Nike are teaming up with a multi-year partnership. A bunch of across of their different, brands, probably shoes and sets. I mean, we've seen this with Adidas, and we got a lot of Adidas clothes that I know I bought a lot of them, a lot of soccer gear, or football, like some of you across the pond like to call it, and some of the Lego sets as well. I mean, we had a gift with purchase a shoe I remember, and then
Do
an
you
even
think
bigger shoe.
do you think these like the Lego Adidas like sets, like the promo or the actual shoe set, do you think they're gonna go up in value now or?
I think they should. I mean, now you're like, oh, I missed out on that one, like really bad. Now that's if they were already kind of hot already, and maybe they'll go up a little bit, but I don't see people going after them. I think, especially in the American market, I know Adidas and Nike are very big companies, but I think since I think Nike's more big in the United States, and I think over here it's gonna take off a little bit better because I mean I see more people in my experience wear Nike than Adidas all throughout the days.
But I mean, you gotta look at it like this. So they did their partnership with Adidas, and they made the jerseys, they had actual shoes and all that,
Yeah,
and then they had a Lego set based on it. So are they going? Do you think they're going to replicate the same thing? They're gonna come out with some apparel that is gonna be Lego, Nike, and then they're gonna probably come out with like a special shoe, and then possibly Lego is gonna like do the traditional like shoe as a set, or
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, we're gonna get some sort of shoe. I mean, they had the Adidas ones. We're gonna get some sort of shoe for kids and for adults. I think we're getting a lot of t-shirt merch for kids and adults. A lot of soccer gear is gonna come out. A lot of sports gear is gonna come out. Specifically, I mean, even their little logo they released with it and that little video they had. I mean, it shows like a goat. So who's the goat? You know, it's gonna be for sports. I guarantee it. They got skateboarding. They got soccer goals. They got soccer cleats. A bunch of bricks, dragons, all the 9 yards to show you that they are going to do the max they can with merchandise. And I mean, I'm not against it because I love soccer. So if you do some soccer and Nike stuff, I'm probably gonna buy it just like I did the Adidas jerseys. Like I think they're really cool. So I would definitely pick those up. And then they usually are a little bit pretty a little pricey sometimes, but it's almost kind of worth it when it comes to it's quality. You're paying for quality, honestly. You're paying for two quality brands. Nike has good shirts, Lego makes good products, so they wouldn't put their name on it if it wasn't that wasn't that good for them.
I mean, I'm just curious because it's like I'm curious like are they gonna switch it up next time? Are we gonna have because
Like
they did
Puma,
Adidas. Are we gonna have Lego Puma? Are we gonna have Lego Skechers come out of nowhere? Like it
maybe, but probably not. I mean, it's got to be a big. It's got to be against like who has a more stake in it, right? Like Adidas probably
Lego
was like,
Under
we're
Armour.
yeah,
Dude,
okay.
think of that. Think of the football jerseys or whatever, and they have like Lego logos on them and all that.
I wear.
All right. Think of cleats, right? But instead of like the traditional like spikes on the bottom, it's just Lego bricks.
Oh my god, yeah,
Bruh,
that's gonna
I'm
hurt
just
more, man.
saying, man, it could work. I'm not saying they're made out of Lego. I'm just saying they look like Lego and they could probably connect.
That's true. No, I do think it's a cool little collab, or it's a cool big collab because it's not little; it's a big collab. Um, I think it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be good for Lego and Nike. They're gonna make money off of it, and I'm gonna end up buying some sort of collaboration between them.
I mean, if they have
Um,
any, like, if I ever see the shirts and I feel like they have a design I like, then I'll
I
probably
do
pick
like the
one up.
subtle designs though. With the Adidas ones, they did a lot of subtle designs. I mean, yeah, maybe a little multicolor stuff, but it wasn't too it
See,
wasn't too crazy. Like the soccer ones that I have, you seen them. Like when I went to the conventions, it's like
yeah,
just a ball like going through some bricks, like a little bit, and it was all right. It was subtle enough.
I like the design. I just can't like. I just wish they would make a better color.
They do tend with Adidas specifically. I noticed their colors aren't always as like vibrant as like Nike and more variations because the Adidas ones literally only came in like white, blue, or maybe a light gray, maybe. But it was always white and a like nice blue. Like, but it's like, where's the black? Where's the
That's.
charcoal? Where's red? Like none of that.
I would love to get a charcoal. Sure, I would if they had a charcoal one. I would have bought one.
Yeah, I agree. I tried. I mean, I think only one of the jerseys was, but it was multicolored. But I still have my like just like the rest of my soccer jerseys. I have them all hanging up
Well, now
and
they're
ready
gonna
to
probably
go.
be worth a lot
I
because
shoot,
I
say
don't think
less.
Lego would be doing two shoe brands at the same time.
No, this is a multi-year deal. I think they dropped Adidas for their co-branding stuff. Maybe they're whatever they have in stock is going to sell out, for whatever it is, but they aren't going to they're going to keep it around much longer. They're going to start making new stuff. Maybe it's a multi-year deal, so who knows? Because you pay for exclusivities with these things. So they're like exclusively if you're going to feature sports merch in your sets and we approve it, you can put our logo on it kind of thing.
I mean, I'm like according to Amazon, you can still buy the Lego Adidas shoe for like 115 bucks, which I'm pretty sure it's like that's retail.
One of them was like that. The other one wasn't like that. So it
Well, they
depending on
had
which one
one
it
with a gift
was.
with purchase, and it's
Oh
like you
yeah,
got
that
it.
one. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I'm talking about like the actual like shoes that they released,
Oh no,
that
I'm
you
like
wear.
the white Adidas Superstar ones. You can still buy them. They have the plaque, which I mean, if you're a sneakerhead, like go for it. I'm curious, like what design they're gonna do for Nike. Like, are they gonna do like the when Nike got really big in basketball, or are they gonna like do the Air Force Ones? I feel like if they did Air Force Ones, they're just gonna like it's almost like copying the Superstar shoes because what they should do a totally different like style color.
I think they will. I mean, there's no doubt that Nike has a lot of like the more shoe brands that I think that are that are more known. I think they might dabble into like everything. Like I mean, they even show skateboards, the football posts, football cleats, uh, soccer cleats, and all that stuff. I think they're gonna dabble into maybe almost everything, and at least every kind of climb is gonna get a shout out or some merch for this. I mean, even in like their little reviews, they show like technically like, even Marty McFly has those Nike the Nike Airs that he wears
Yeah.
in the movies. So even the Lego print kind of is like Nike ones. I mean, what if we start getting minifigs with with Nike logos on their shoes or on their
I will
feet?
buy, I would love to buy a minifigure with like a Nike logo t-shirt and all that. I kind of like I want them to almost do the exact same thing they did with this, and you can get like a little tiny shoe gift with purchase if you got the
Hmm.
big shoe.
Yeah, I would do
Like,
that.
I think that would be great. I think that should be almost like a little bit of a thing. Like you can just get like the individual little shoes and you get the bigger shoes. And I mean,
Hmm.
if you're a sneakerhead, like of course get ready because Lego's gonna drop one of these and it's gonna be in the orange box. So it'll actually have some, because when they had the set come out, it was the traditional blue box. So now they'll
Yeah, that
probably
is
have the
true.
traditional orange box for the Nikes. And I'm very excited for what's to come of that. That it's gonna be interesting.
I know there's some other things that are going out, some rumors per se. What do you got for that?
So, apparently there was at a convention, I'm not sure which convention it was, but they had something called Project Sparrow in the works. And Project Sparrow, when you think of it, it's like, is it a bird? Is it? And a lot of speculation is saying that this is a possible um revitalization of the Pirates of the Caribbean theme because of Jack Sparrow, and it sort of fits. I know Lego Pirates have been coming back slowly, but they're coming back. And it's a theme that was discontinued because the movies just didn't do too well. But they didn't also have any new media. But I feel that now we're at a point where they can release ships and all that are much higher quality. The of course the adult market is now involved, so you could probably sell a better model of any of the pirate ships or sets at a little bit of a higher price point, and people will buy it. People grew up and love those movies. I personally love those movies. Not all of them, but most of them.
Hmm.
But I'm kind of excited because I feel it's the one Lego theme that I neglected, and when I got a Jack Sparrow figure in a lot, I was really excited because I'm like, oh, this is great because now I just have to find a ship to put him in. So I'm kind of curious how they're gonna play this out.
Uh, from my understanding, I mean, with Pirates of the Caribbean being a very big pop culture reference and hit on a lot of people our generation. Um, I th- I think if it came back now with even like how Lord of the Rings is doing bigger sets, I think if it came out with something like that, I think it would sell well now. I mean, I think Lego was very ambitious back when they were doing that IP at that time, but it's like I can only imagine it wasn't the moneymaker they thought it was going to be because of who was really buying it. I mean, yeah, people were getting them, but it's like people weren't getting them to keep. I can see that. If you have in your collection, I'm sure you're keeping it, but a lot of ICs are just after. It's going to be aftermarket stuff and ready to sell or incomplete or nobody cared about it. And I think now it would sell really big if this is a revitalization of that line of that IP. But I don't think it's going to be a huge line. I think if it does come back, it's going to be like those one-off sets that Lego's been doing with some of the IP rights.
I would actually, I think I would actually like it better if it was like the one-off sets. Like I would love them. One set I've always kind of wanted to get was a Black Pearl, but
Hmm.
it's sort of a set I want to get, but I don't want to spend the money because it's not a particularly good looking set. It's a very bare bones ship. If you compare it to like the Barracuda Bay pirate ship, it's not even close. It like the Barracuda Bay is like got all this detail and all these little knickknacks in there, but then you look at the Black Pearl and it's literally just it's a tub with a box on the back. And so I'm like thinking like, yeah, because if you look online, Lego Pirates like in social media have like skyrocketed, and people are doing these incredible builds, and some of them are showing like this is how big the actual ship would be, and they're showing actual like people have taken Lego to the next level and put real rigging. So I'm not saying that Lego's going to get to that point, but I think they will probably release at least the Black Pearl if they came back to the
Hmm.
theme in that like it would probably be like a $200-$300 ship, but it would be in great detail. It would come with quite a few figures and all that, and I think even if they just did that and they kept it on shelves for about a year and a half, I think they're going to get a pretty good following behind it.
I agree. I think it would be. I'm not against those ideas of sets coming back out and having a way better version of themselves. Like I love Ninjago, and when Ninjago comes out with the original Destiny's Bounty, I unfortunately missed that as a kid, even though I loved it. But now the fact that they released a Legacy Bounty when I was getting back into Lego, and I was like, oh my gosh, the Legacy Bounty is much more accurate to the show, and they gave you upgraded figures. Maybe I prefer a little bit of the classic figs in there, but the fact that the set itself is so upgraded and ready to go, almost like it's from the show, it was amazing to me. So I can only imagine now with the techniques and the build patterns that we have now, you could do the Black Pearl and it'd be either bigger or better scaled or just better detailed than it was originally when it came out.
I mean, we're at a point now where the Lego of like the early 2000s and even the early 2010s are completely differently built than the Lego that comes out like nowadays. Like back then, everything was brick built, so it was all
Hmm.
held together by friction. But now, sets have all these Technic bits in there. They have an actual like the word I'm looking for is chassis. They have a
Hmm.
chassis that you build around it, and it stays sturdy, and it gets like, I mean, pizzas fly off, but it's like it's kind of hard to break the actual structure of the set now, unless you're really trying to. So I kudos if they come out with it. 100% going to be trying to get that ship. I think it'll be a great centerpiece and all that. Especially if you're like a pirate fan. If you're a ship guy, I know a few people like that. Like I know I follow a
Yourself?
lot of. I like pirate ships. I think they look cool.
Yeah, I do
So
like your setup.
I yeah I'm very proud of my Barracuda Bay setup.
Hmm. Very
But
good
I mean
setup.
it's I'm a little upset like the only reason that like Pirates stopped is because they didn't have any the media like the last movie didn't do as well as everybody had hoped, and Lego just sort of like jumped off that bandwagon, which I mean I understand, but it also brings up a point of like what themes could potentially come back if they did, or would they be welcomed back so easily?
You bring up a very interesting point there, honestly. With us talking about it on and off air, it's a lot of themes are hit or miss or come and go, touch and go. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking like, man, if they can do something like that with the Pirates of the Caribbean, it makes me wonder what else could they do for anything, and it makes me want to go back and like think about some of the sets that or some of the series that didn't even get a that got a chance or didn't get a chance to really flourish, and would they flourish in today's market? Uh, like, i.e., if Avatar: The Last Airbender came back out with a bunch of sets or more dynamic sets than what they came out with originally, would that even work anymore? Because they only had the two sets that came out, the Fire Temple or the Air Temple and the Fire Nation ship, and it's
Yeah,
like
they didn't
you
have much
didn't
for that.
you didn't have much, but Avatar Last Airbender is loved, it's beloved pop culture. So it makes me wonder, would that would that fly today, and could we could be sustained today?
I mean, for Avatar, that had such a small run, but that was also during the time that Lego, for some reason, was turning every Nickelodeon show into a Lego set.
Yep.
Because they at the same time they had SpongeBob and they had a few other ones thrown in there. But honestly, right now it's like if they came out with an 18 plus, because all the kids that grew up watching Avatar, they're now adults now.
Mhm.
If they came out with like an 18 plus set and it was just Appa and you had the main characters, like would that do you think that would suffice? Like them returning that to that
Oh,
theme?
I'd buy it.
Yeah,
I'd buy it.
what
It's
like
actually
you'd
female
have
the characters I wanted.
yeah. I mean, they've had what, two movies with it? They had one really bad one, and then I think they had another one that was actually fairly decent, but
It was a Netflix show. They did a live action Netflix show, um, and it was better than the movie that they made, but nothing tops the anime. Nothing tops the original show. Like I do think that the new show was better than the movie, but that movie was bad. That movie's next to freaking Dragon Ball Evolution or whatever they
dude,
did.
Dragon Ball Evolution is such
Dude,
a bad movie. It is so bad. The part when he's just sliding across the dude's
stop. I
car,
don't know why I
he
brought it
does it
up. I
like
know I brought it up.
18 times, and I'm like, what is this?
But well, so on topic on top of sets that or series that maybe that would do better today or that died out. What do you think? What's one that you would like to see come back or
Yeah,
would?
it's kind of hard. I would love to see the I don't remember the actual, is it either the adventure theme? It's the one where it had Johnny Thunder and
Yeah,
he
adventures.
adventures. Yeah, so I would love to see that because they a few years ago they did the 90 years of play where they Lego celebrated, and they came out with three sets that were like, they had the Galaxy Explorer, which was the space theme, and then they had the castle, which was, of course, castle theme. I forgot the third one. There was a third one. I know there was.
Yeah, the pirate ship.
It wasn't a pirate ship. Barracuda Bay was meant to look like that, but that was already retired. I forgot the third one. But they came out with these themes, and they came back out, and they were great. I've bought two Galaxy Explorers
Galaxy
because,
Explorer, the castle, and the Viking ship.
not the Viking ship. There was another one in there. It was it's gonna kill me. Um
Which is crazy to
but
think about that Lego Adventures theme actually ran from I'm looking online, it's like from 98 to 2003. And I mean that's the prime age for Lego as we were kids, like when that came out. That was prime for us. And I remember some of these like Egyptian sets and stuff like that. And the Dino Island sets that I either were like drooling over in the stores or I never got a chance to get.
first sets I ever had was this Tomb of the Pharaoh set, and I loved it. I remember I would tear it apart and rebuild it all the time. I still have the tan base plates that it came with. And I would love to see that come back. Even if like they did it like as a one-off, as the same as the Galaxy Explorer, just do a revitalized version of the same set, and 100% I would love it. I mean, it's not like some of these ones that have like a little controversy, like Overwatch and all that. It's I think that they should bring back things like that. Just kind of a last hurrah. They did it with Bionicle, where they brought that gift with purchase, and everybody liked it a lot. And everybody kind of hoped they would go and continue and do the whole line, like the whole cast in that format. But Lego seems to have not done that.
Hmm.
So it's crazy. I think for some of these more nostalgic themes, like people would like to just see like a big final hurrah. Like, this is what we wanted to give you in that
And
sense.
yeah, I see that, and I do agree with that. That's why I'm just like I'm not disagreeing with Lego coming out with direct to consumer sets or 18 plus sets that come out of certain themes that maybe aren't exactly for kids anymore, but still have a special place in pop culture. Because at the end of the day, Lego is pop culture in itself, and it adapts to what is going on. And I think in all right, some sets should get that royal treatment and come back and get something. But I just think some themes are better just left in the dark. I mean, you
We're
you
gonna
tell me. I mean, I see
we're
like I
gonna we're gonna
remember
we're gonna leave Hero Factory and Chima just where it's at.
first
You
off,
know,
like
they
what does Chima think that they could replace an Ninjago? Where do they think they could
that was
replace
their
it?
original thing, right? Wasn't it like Chima
Oh,
was
let's
supposed to
replace Ninjago real quick with Chima. How did that
and
work out for you?
the only thing Chima had going for it was the head molds. That was it.
They were cool. I like the minifigs. I mean, they were kind of funky, but they kind of like it kind of like fit, like it was cool. But the sets, man, like they were kind of like I don't know. They weren't the spinners were better in Ninjago. Like the spinners were 100% better, and Ninjago needs to get back to the spinners. Every set a spinner.
I've been a little bit upset that Ninjago doesn't do any of the spin jitsu now. I like that they have mechs. I like that you can fight dragons and all that. That's cool. But I'm like, can you make it like a spin? Can you make the dragon spin? Like, I would love to see this, like, just going at it. Like,
Yeah, some of the
that,
last ones we got were like not even really like top spinners. They were kind of like they were all like on like these balls that they could like roll a little bit, but they weren't really spinners. Like so it breaks my heart.
if you could bring back a theme, what would you bring back?
If I could bring back a theme, honestly, I mean Ninjago's still alive, so I really don't care. You know, it's there.
Yeah,
One it's hard to decide because 100% I would love to bring back Lego Pirates originally because I love the uniforms of like the Imperial soldiers and stuff like that. I
they are
would
very nice.
love that to come back. And a more battle pack style to army build. Because it's really hard to army build with order figs. And it's I would be willing to do that now. I if you really give me the chance, I think Lego Ben 10, but not the brick built figures. You know what I'm saying? Not
Not
the
the
not the
buildable
not
figures.
not the buildable figures. If they came out with actual minifigs, because some of his aliens are humanoid, and you could just give him like a custom head, a custom mold, like for like Diamond Head or heat, was it Heat Wave? I think his name was, and like forearms, you could use Garmadon, like or the some of those new molds with the extra arms in the back. I don't know. You could really do a lot of stuff with that, and I would 100%. I would be behind it if it came out very if they actually took their time and didn't do buildable figures.
I feel like Lego could have a lot better of an output if they just stuck to their tried and true method. That everything was like minifigures and all that, because a lot of people aren't buying these things like to uh they're not buying like figures, right? They're buying the sets, and it's like if you could get like Ben 10 and you can get like maybe two or three aliens with him, and then you can get Gwen in this set, and then you go into another set and you can have another couple aliens and you can have the grandpa or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you I mean, I think that that would be a better way to do it than to sell them individually. But and
Hmm.
it's so I feel like Lego can kind of drop the ball on it, and I feel like at that point that theme's death is unfortunately a bad business choice.
Yeah, I mean, they went with like hand in hand with all the buildable things they were doing around that time. I know the Star Wars ones came out; they were either hit or miss. But I think if you give it, like you said, also if the sets were more, if they were sets that tied into each other, right? Like when a theme comes out, like Ninjago, it's usually about the season that's going on, right? And the
Hmm.
sets will either interlink or have some, or they're in the show. They have reference point. If you do the Ben 10 and you do one like, oh, it's the house they all chill at, and then here's another one with the car, with that Kevin's like Challenger or whatever he had, that muscle car he
Yeah,
had. And then one with like the RV. There's very iconic vehicles you could have made and put some aliens with it, and minifig size. And I think I would 100% do that, and I would love that. What about you? What theme would you bring back if you could, and change it if you needed to, like
put
to
me on
tweak it?
this, put me on the spot. Honestly, um, I do love pirates, but you've already said pirates, so I'm gonna say cowboys. They
Dude, I
had
didn't even think about that. Yeah.
they had cowboys forever. Cowboys used to
Hmm.
be a standing theme up until like the 90s. And then they sort of like it would come and go and come and go. And now they don't do cowboy stuff. You go on Bricklink and you look up cowboy stuff and the price is atrocious because it's just they don't make it anymore.
Yeah.
You can find a hat every now and then. Sometimes they do a collectible minifig of a cowboy, but it's just not the same. It's like they had these sets that were, they robbed banks or whatever and you could build towns. I would love to just get like a traditional like couple cowboys on horses, and you get like the Oregon Trail style wagon. Just throw that into and like put it next to a train station. I know Bricklink just did a train station or a general store set, which is cool, but also that's like kind of like unobtainable. I think they need to bring back Cowboys in the state because that's a staple. It was space, cowboys, and pirates and knights, and like those were the things you got growing up. Fort, they had the huge fort you can get. Let
Hmm.
fort
It's like Legorado, like El
Legorado.
Dorado, but like Legorado. It's funny.
That look at it. I mean, look at the look how like intricate and all that. This is when you have the cannons, you have them hauling cannons, you have some great horse molds. If they made this, they remade this set like they did the Galaxy Explorer, 100% I would buy it.
I think besides this, I mean, like I love Lego Castle. It's just so much and like so expensive as a kid, and like even now, like try to justify some of the builds. Like I love the idea of knights and stuff like that, but then I'm also like I'm also American. What I grew up on as American cowboys, and I see these cowboys in these forts, and I'm like, man, what a time to be allowed to be on my horse and go out there and get some bandits.
Yeah,
Like
that's
like that would be amazing. Like I can see this coming back, and the new pieces, the new builds, we could have way better forts, like way
we
better intricate systems and stuff like that.
we could have better forts, we could have, a whole sheriff system. The closest thing you can get currently is Amazon has a brand called Funhole, which is Funwhole. And currently right now they have a saloon and a sheriff station. And I have the saloon, and I'm not gonna lie, I just took they have these little weird minifigures with it, and they thankfully they all come in the same bag, so they're
Mhm.
easily just able to throw away. But it's all like imitation bricks. It comes with a light kit, and I love it. I think it looks great.
No, it looks really good. It looks really good.
It's of course it's that it's a Chinese brand, so it's got a bit of a funk to it when you open the box for the first time. But after that dies down, it's got a great interior. It's got a whole light kit and all that. And if you just have like the right figures, just litter them around. Like I got a bunch of dudes wearing ponchos. I got my Arthur Morgan custom fig and Emmett just sitting around. Like yeah, I think that Lego is really missing the ball, especially with how big Cowboys have gotten since Red Dead 2 was released.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
I feel like they stopped doing Cowboys completely after Lone Ranger because of just how much that didn't sell.
yeah. And that was unfortunate too, because that wasn't even detriment on Cowboys. That was just that movie. Like it didn't
Yeah.
do the movie didn't do itself justice to make the Lego set sell for justice. One thing I think Lego like what is weird and like I don't want it per se to come back, but Lego Dimensions, the gates that it opened, the dimensions that it opened, right? Um,
Dude,
like hear me out, like Lego Dimensions, but just minifig sets, man, just minifig packs.
like
Like
here's the thing.
I'd buy them.
I would love Lego. I would like I didn't get Lego Dimensions. I didn't have an Xbox and all that. And then they came out with the PlayStation 1, and nope, you can't play it anymore. And I feel that's a little bit upsetting because they had so many good things. You could do you played it, and you started off with Gandalf, Batman, and Wildstyle from the Lego movie,
Hmm.
and then you got the player pack, so you can do Scooby Doo. Then you could do Knight Rider. Then you did the Goonies, and then you did Ghostbusters. And then they're like, oh well, also you can do Portal. And I that
Yeah.
was like the only dimension set I've ever had. It was the Portal one, and I'm like, I'm hesitant to open it because I'm like, I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, I played the game, and the game is just like it's just like any Lego game, honestly. But the fact is, you can. My only gripe was that you needed to own all the packs to get more characters. From what I remember, I remember building the portal and getting the starter set. It was really cool, but it was typical of those games where like Skylanders and that Marvel one, Marvel Disney Quest or whatever it was called.
It's the
Um,
amiibo. It's
yeah,
the
and it's
amiibo
the
gimmick.
amiibos, but they didn't stick around. At least amiibos still work for their games. Nintendo has made sure that they are still alive, but Lego Dimensions
Well,
did die. But the thing that I would do if I would bring back Lego Dimensions, it would be Lego Dimensions the packs, and you'd only get random IPs that that Lego's definitely not gonna make a set on, right? Like they're definitely not gonna make a whole set of this. But here's a minifigure too. Here's a character you're never gonna get in a set anyways. I might as well throw them in this pack for you. And the pack's gonna sell like hotcakes because especially if it's exclusive, it's gonna come out. It's selling at the Lego store only, and I guarantee they sell out.
I mean, you bring that up, and it's sort of like the argument like, why hasn't Lego made CMFs for certain themes? Like, of course, the
Oh,
biggest one is like Star Wars and all that.
interesting. You bring that up. Lego, you know, at some point too, they said they couldn't do Marvel CMF, but they did.
They did do
And
Marvel. They did two Disney lines, and then they started making Disney stuff, and then they said we couldn't do Marvel, and they did two Marvel lines,
They did
and
DC, yeah,
and then they did they've done DC lines, they've done all these other, they did Harry Potter a few times,
so what's
and
the deal with
Star
why can't
Wars.
we have Star Wars? Like honestly, the thing it would be nice is if they just put figures in them that we're not going to be able to get anywhere else. Like, I mean, they
Mhm.
don't have a reason to make a set about it. I know, like, the argument is like, well, Lego has been recently putting special figs in certain sets, but Lego's done that with like a lot of themes. Like with Harry Potter, you get special figs. With Ninjago, you get special figs. But
Mhm.
even Ninjago had a CMF line,
Yeah, for the movie, and it was great.
and it's like we've had, and I know like Lego gets the advent calendar, but so does Marvel, so does Harry Potter, so does Lego City. I'm surprised. Does Lego Ninjago get an advent calendar?
I wish, man. You know, I'd buy it, but they do not.
I thought they did, but I'm just little. I'm a little surprised that it's we just still haven't even gotten word of it, and I don't even think they've like officially answered like are we ever getting one,
Yeah,
because it's no longer a rumor of like has like the minifigure is considered an action figure and Hasbro's got like legality over that.
yeah,
It's
that's been disproven.
it's more like Lego's just completely avoiding it for some reason. And I'm like, you realize you saw how well the Marvel ones sell, all right? Now think of that, but much better, because these things you will people will be buying these by the box loads, and we're like, you're gonna sell like 3 or 4 boxes to one person.
I mean, like the D&D one with a bunch of unnamed characters is gonna be a hit. Like I need to buy like 2 cases of that. I need those figs. I need all
What
those parts in there.
what's it called? I find it funny. Star Wars has been a big staple in Lego for the last 25 years now. D&D hasn't barely been out, and they get a CMF line.
Yeah, and it begs the question, like, if they so let's just throw all the the crap away. What if Lego did make a Star Wars CMF series? What would you hope to see? I mean, we can bounce this back and forth. Like, what would you
Yeah,
hope to see?
let's bounce this back and forth. So, if I all right, so if let's say we're in charge, we both get
Yeah.
we like let's say 12 figures each. All right. Let's say we get 12 figures each. We 12 figures in all, 6 figures each.
Okay.
All right, my first figure I'm going to say is what's this guy's name? It is I know his name. It is Sidian Inatha Ithano. Sidian Ithano. So he's a cool looking dude. He was first shown in Force Awakens as a
Mhm.
background character. Basically, he's that guy that
Oh yeah, with the red
Maz
mask, right?
says if you work for them, they'll take you to the Outer Rim.
Mhm.
He has a whole comic book line against him, like with him, and I think he's a cool looking figure. He's got that amazing Star Wars trope. Either they have a cool helmet or a cool cape, and this guy has both. So that makes him at like just a step underneath Darth Vader. And I think it would be great to have him because there's no reason to put him in another set unless another Disney show comes out.
I agree. I mean, he's really cool with all the sleek red and all over it, and you could do a lot with that. Within that and Lego. I think, being obscure, right? Like, I mean, I'd have to go with Clef. If you don't know who Clef is, or Clef, however you pronounce it, if you didn't play Star Wars: The Force Unleashed and you don't remember that mission where you go after the Gungan on, like, I think, oh, dude, on Cloud City, he's in there and he kidnaps somebody, I think, and you have to go kill him a Star Killer, and it's so funny because he's a Gungan and he's like jacked up in this version of him. He has like one eye and he has a glowing orange eye, and he has like two droids that like flank him, like in the game. But Clef, the green Gungan who's swole. Why couldn't we get Clef, man? He's not gonna be in a set. We're not getting another Star Killer set. But please put him in a CMF. That'd be
I think
hilarious.
it would be nice to have another Gungan besides Jar Jar.
A different color too. He's very green. He's
He's green.
green.
He's a very green guy, and he's got this kind of cool like body stance torso going. So, if this is all just like random throwaway guys that they're never gonna get a set for themselves, like why not?
Exactly.
Uh, Another one I would want to put in is the second sister from Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, dude,
We
yeah, that'd be nice.
we got BD1. We got a big BD1. We got Cal Kestis in the up and coming Star Destroyer. The second sister would go great with the Inquisitors figures that we got from the Kenobi series and even the Rebels. She's like I said, she's got the helmet, she's got the cape. She is a great character. She had her whole storyline is awesome. She screams Star Wars, and I'm surprised that Lego hasn't done much more with the Inquisitors in that theme.
Yeah, I think again the Inquisitors all look pretty unique and pretty cool, even though they're all they're all wearing the same black and red combo. But even though they're doing that, they all still feel so different, and I do like that. And she was a good character. Her story is really good. And then spoiler alert: if you play the game, she gets axed, but in her own way, which is pretty cool. And I think the helmet number one is sick. Like I love the helmet, so put that on a CMF and I'll buy it.
100%.
On my end.
Speaking of people with cool helmets, right? I don't know why we don't have an outcry for Dirge. Why don't we have an outcry for Dirge and put him in a CMF? I mean, I don't even care if he's a big fig, a medium fig, a fig with armor. Like Dirge, the bounty hunter from the original Star Wars: The Clone Wars show, the Samurai Jack one. The Dirge was crazy. I mean, the freaking ARC troopers had to fight him with Kenobi. Like that's how badass he was.
He was that like that. If you've grown up, if you watched like Star Wars before Episode 3 came out, you'll know exactly. It's that one scene where they're jousting on speeders.
Oh my god, yes, the joust.
That and it's like his whole race. He's canonized. All right, his brother is in the new other Fallen Order game, and they're indestructible. They are bounty hunters and all that, and it's honestly, why don't we have figures like that? Like you just give him like a big heavy set of armor, give him a cool helmet, cool print. You don't have to worry about the face. You can just make it like kind of a purplish red muscly thing underneath, and like give him just like a blaster and a lance to just like as the figure.
Yeah, and I remember that with all the IG droids that were on the freaking on the bike. So I guess that's what happened to all the IG droids. That's why there's like hundreds of them.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool if they did like a set based on like the old style of Clone Wars.
Give me a jousting set where we can like launch them at each other.
That'd be fun. So here's a figure that people aren't really gonna know because we've always got his boss Newt Gunray. So this one I've thought of is Rune Hako, and he's the guy that is in Phantom Menace. He's the guy. He's Newt Gunray's like right hand man, and he's like, we should not have made this bargain, and it's like they're still coming through and all that. And I think honestly, just to get another Pneumonian that isn't like we haven't had a Newt Gunray since 2012, and I doubt we're gonna get anything like anytime soon. But I think one of these guys would be great. It's another alien, which Star Wars kind of lacks in, even though I know humans are like the most populated race in Star Wars, but we need more aliens, and this guy would be perfect because he's kind of a side character, and he has literally no other like set to be in unless they like throw Queen Amidala in something.
Yeah, and I guess staying on the topic of characters like that you see, I don't know why we haven't got like the father, the daughter, and the son in any set, and the perfect time. It's kind of like a 3-for-1, or you can do one of any of them in any of the Star Wars CMFs, right? I don't know why we haven't got any single one of them in any set or anything like that. Just put them in a CMF. It can be one or all of them, but the father, the daughter, and the son. I mean, like they were so critical because like even though the memories like kind of disappeared from Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and Anakin, like that literally stayed with Ahsoka because they kind of made her like a sub-chosen one because Anakin saved her with the sister's life. So it just shows like the Force, like how the Force perceived. Like that was just so emotional, that episode. Like not emotional, it was very it took you beyond the thinking as a kid and like getting a little bit older when you're rewatching it. It's like it shows you the Force is so grand, but it's so simple as a sister and brother bickering. Like the good and the bad. Like it just shows you how simple the Force is, even though it's so grand. And I think that they represent Star Wars, obviously the Force of Star Wars. And it'd be nice to actually represent them in minifigs.
The only thing I really hated about that arc was it's one of those ones that they constantly did where they would have it's like they were this close to rewriting the original trilogy, but you've already grown so attached to these characters that you're like, yes, you could save everyone, and then the father just goes, he's like, no, and then he just like, nope, wiped your memory of all that. Now it'll be like nothing happened. And it's like, no,
yeah.
no. And then Fives goes and does his thing. He's like, no.
Stop.
No, I mean, honestly, I don't understand why we haven't gotten another one. I have a feeling with Ahsoka, we might get kind of a mural or something that's dedicated to them, but we should get them as a figure, at least.
I love the parallel randomly of like I seen a picture of like Anakin / Darth Vader as the father, and then it showed Starkiller as the son and Ahsoka as the daughter, like these fan art pictures, and I'm like, is that not true? Like, if Starkiller was canon, is that not true? Like, it's just really cool to think about the Force. Starkiller, like very like he doesn't want to be bad, but all he knows is Vader taught him, and Ahsoka is good because of all Anakin taught her. Like, it's just parallels. It's like poetry.
It is. That's all Star Wars is. It's poetry. It repeats itself.
What else you got?
So this one is this one's an odd one. This is a clone, which I know, like, we don't want to do like army builders out of this, but this is a special clone because it's actually the first clone you really see in Attack of the Clones. It's the first. Canonically, it's the first clone that is seen on screen, and it's the just the one. He's in the red jumpsuit and he's eating, and he kind of looks around with a little disdain or whatever. And I think, it'd be really nice to get, because he's got this jumpsuit on the arms. It has the Kaminoan symbols on it, and I think throughout the Clone Wars, they don't wear red jumpsuits. They wear like the silver and white ones typically, or they wear like just like full on like you never see red. And I feel like just having one of these guys in like I mean, even you can have him have a bowl and like a spoon as his accessories, all right? But like, it's fun. Like, I think it would be a great little nod to it. It's like that's the first on screen clone that you see.
I do think it's really good. I think that's a good pick because again, it is a generic clone, but in a unique outfit. And I think you could even replace it with the clone naval officers because we don't have any of those. Like Republic naval officers, we really don't got that. Besides Admiral Yularen, I think maybe the one with the Venator. So it's like you could do that. I think you could swap those two, but I do like the idea of the red jumpsuit because those are really cool, and those are like kind of like when they're still in their training phase. They haven't graduated to be full troopers yet. So that's why we like never see them because we don't spend that much time on Camino anyways. But I do enjoy that. I do think that's amazing with the sleeves and the idea of it because it's a CMF. Why not go out and give us a nice print? Give us a nice print on the sides and more. And yeah, it's an army builder. But if I'm buying multiples of these, yeah, give me a bunch of clones. Give me a bunch of these clones.
If you buy 5 of them, it's the same price as a battle pack.
Exactly. So I agree. I do like that pick.
What about you? What else you got?
Well, I guess keeping in tune with the Clone Wars, right? Or somewhere in the Clone Wars, right? I don't understand why we haven't gotten a Clone Wars blue maroon armor Anakin. Why haven't we got the blue? We with the faces were jacked up when the Clone Wars sets came out. I mean, I remember how jacked up the faces were.
Super anime faces.
Yeah, but the Anakin was wrong the whole time. Tell me I'm wrong. The Anakin did not wear brown and black.
He was brown and black the whole time, but in the show he was wearing like a maroon and a red, which are typically I think that's the color of the Republic.
It was like that. He was wearing Republic colors. Like, I mean, Obi-Wan was armored up. Anakin was armored up with that, and they don't even talk about it. I mean, like I saw the Hot Toys figure of him, and they use Hayden Christensen's like face mold. It's amazing. It's freaking amazing. And I'm like, well, I'm not paying $500 for it, but I'll pay $5 for a CMF series if I can get the Anakin like that.
That's honestly, like, I think that, along the line, they should go and redo these, some of those figures and make them just a little bit like more representative what they look like today. I know they did it back then as like a what's it called as an artistic decision where you could they made them look like the show, but honestly they should go back and they should just change them up. But I think yeah, you know, give them a maroon and red. If they're never gonna fix like the color in the set, definitely just kind of throw them in there. It's like this is the color.
Yeah, if you remake this, if you make any Clone Wars sets, please update the figures. Like, please update the figures. You've updated the clones, update the Jedi, please. But if you put it in a CMF, I will 100% buy it.
I would too. But I would also need them to update and do Obi-Wan, and then they have to do Ahsoka Tano. It's like now we're in a spiral. Now we have figures for the next time.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what else are you thinking? What we need in the CMF
so
set?
I got a weird one, and his name is Tion Medon, and he is the Prime Minister of Utapau. He's basically the guy that meets Obi-Wan right off the rip. And I'm going with a theme of like I like weird aliens. I think they look great, and it's like we already have kind of one of his species. The Grand Inquisitor is that same species. So it's like it wouldn't be hard to make the same print, but you get like this, you know, you get this kind of cool like maroon red print on his torso. You put like a little like thing that covers the side of his heads. And I think it would look kind of cool. We have like chancellors and we have senators and a lot of other stuff in Lego. Why not get one of these guys? And they'd be great to make more aliens for like your mock or your collection.
Yeah, I can see definitely doing it with like especially if you do like his on-screen role. If you give him like a cloth that stands up or something like that, I can see that, and it'd be very unique to get some new cloth pieces. And I mean, I like the head mold. Again, you can use the Inquisitor. Honestly, I mean, it's kind of the same.
If you're gonna
The
make a
Grand
mock of it, you
Inquisitor.
might as well use the Inquisitor.
Yeah,
The
and then
Grand
just
Inquisitor.
give him a nice little cloth piece, a nice red maroon velvet cloth piece, and I think we'll be really good with that.
I think like just getting more different types of aliens would actually help.
I do like that. I do like the alien idea.
Because what's it called? I know like one of the I have the Mos Eisley Cantina set, and one of my favorite bits about it is the amount of different aliens they have with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so like the only humans there is the bartender, Luke, and Obi-Wan. That's it. Apart from a couple stormtroopers, but I don't really consider them like part of that group. But everybody else is basically alien, and it's great.
So yeah, my next choice honestly would be. I hate to harp on it, but another Anakin figure. I do want the Anakin with the tattoos from the original Clone Wars series, where he's on that planet with Obi-Wan, and they're trying to get those like bear people or beaver people, whatever they are, the rat people.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
He gets like those 4 slug tattoos all over him, and then it leads into like a very emotional thing just for him to like be proud of it, getting a new arm, getting a new hand because he blows up there, and then lead right into episode 3 because then they start hyperspacing away, even though it's not canon anymore because of everything that happened because of Mandalore, Siege of Mandalore happens then. But that figure with the tattoos on it would be dope. I mean, it's probably weird because he's shirtless, but I mean, we got Ben Solo over here always taking off his shirt in the Lego games. Why can't we get an Anakin and a CMF without a shirt?
I think that'd be a great thing. You could probably get a dual molded arm for his right arm, so it's like partially gold and all that. And it would be a great way to interpret like, yes, half of his arm is gone.
Yeah, it was gold too. Yeah, he did have like his arm is gold. Like it's never like Luke's hand that is human like.
So if you watch the ending of Attack of the Clones, when he's getting married, he has a golden arm, and he has a golden arm in that one nightmare scene in Revenge of the Sith. He's had a golden arm, like, and I think that's because you don't see it often because he's always wearing the glove, and I'm pretty sure that's because they don't want to keep doing the VFX for it.
Yeah.
And like Luke went and he got like this weird hand that almost looks like flesh colored and all that. Like it looks real. And I think that's what it shows. Like maybe the science within those 20 years changed so much you can have a real looking hand or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that figure is I would love that figure. That's one of my favorite favorite parts of the whole series.
Yeah,
That's
the
a
journey of him. Yeah, I love it.
like when he's having the hallucinations and all that.
Mhm.
It's like when he watches the cave paintings. It's one of my favorite bits because it's so hard to watch that and know that he's struggling inside. He knows what's gonna happen. He just can't. He's kind of blinded to know when it's gonna happen and how.
Yeah. And the force works. I mean, the force is going to do it at once, and then he's at the end of the day, it's a very emotional scene, a very impactful scene. To show it later is to come, even if it's not canon. That's how we view Anakin, and it's really cool. So, what is your special
All right.
last minifig?
So my last one is a kind of a funny one. I I chose Boba Fett, and it's not like your traditional Boba Fett. I chose specifically the holiday special variant. It is the first time you see Boba Fett. We have prototype Boba Fett. We have the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. We have Book of Boba Fett, and all that. But this is the one that you see him originally in the holiday special that Star Wars doesn't really like to acknowledge, but he is there, and he's donned with a blue helmet. He's got yellow chest plate and like yellow knee pads, blue accents, and a red cape. He's also got the original weapon that Mando uses in first season 1 of Mandalorian, and that's where that weapon is inspired from. And I think it'd be kind of fun to have one of these concept figs like thrown in. Like this is the early appearance. This is the first time a lot of people were introduced to Boba Fett, and I think it'd be a great little nod towards this is how far we've come. This is a set that figure he would never be put in a regular set. So why not?
And I do love me some Boba Fett, and this holiday special of Boba Fett is amazing. It reminds me of the Droids one that they had. I don't know if that's the same. They're not the same, but the Droids Boba Fett is really cool, and this holiday special Boba Fett is amazing. I love the color schemes. It's just so different. It pops a lot, and it would be amazing to get this just to add it to the collection of many Boba Fetts all laying around. Since I'll never be able to get the Cloud City one.
He's very colorful too because he's got blue, yellow. He's got an orange thing around that I think it's supposed to be Wookiee hair like
Yeah,
sash
the
around his
braid.
arm. And then he has the red cape, and it's all kind of like surrounding this gray jumpsuit. Plus you have his rifle and all that. I think it'd be a fun little nod to like the history of Star Wars and all that.
Hmm.
Yep,
I agree. I think it'd be really cool to have that into the CMF, and I think it's a very good, solid top pick.
right on. And what about you? What is your what have you been saving?
So this one is just how I see Star Wars, and I wish Star Wars would make a movie on the animation style of the Old Republic. And I want the twins. All right, the twins from the Eternal Empire. If you don't know, um, I'm gonna mispronounce it. It's Thexan and Arcan. I'm mispronouncing them. I mean, I haven't played those games in years, but Thexan being the one in black, and then the one in white is Arcan. But having them two in like in a CMF, and then maybe a chase figure. Hear me out. A chase figure in the CMFs, right? The CMF being the armored Arcan, since he does get like blown up on one of their missions, and he half of his body's replaced with robotics or cybernetics. That could be a chase figure in the CMF set. But I would love to see them in Lego. I've seen a lot of custom ones, but to get official Lego merchandise, Lego product, get their hands on this and give me a chase figure of him wearing armor. It would make it very valuable. And if you put chase figures in these things, it'd make a lot more people buy them because they're hunting for a chase.
I love like I've seen this cinematic about maybe a dozen times. I love this one. It's one of my favorite ones, especially when you talk about the Old Republic. This is the Eternal Empire DLC, I believe, and I think this is great. It's twins. It's a way of showing Star Wars doing the poetry thing where things repeat. These are twins, and one of them like and it's funny because spoiler alert, they one dresses in white, one dresses in black. The one in black is like completely good, and the one in white keeps dealing with this internal struggle. I think honestly the chase figure is not a bad idea. I would honestly, instead, I would swap it around. I would say the non-blown up one is the chase figure.
Ooh, you're right.
Because if you play the Old Republic, you deal with the blown up twin like the entire time.
Yeah,
But
you're
if
right.
you got the one that where he's like, this is what he looked like before, then it's like, oh, that's a different variant. Now you have all three.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, yeah, go ahead and swap it out and do that. I do like that idea, and yeah, I mean, the cinematics are so amazing for that game. I mean, I could have done any character from there, but what really stuck out to me, I guess, because having a brother, and not that my brother is good or evil, and that I'm good or evil, but the idea of two brothers, man, like twins, and the whole time you're going through such a terrible father and a living, and always fighting, and one of you always seems to see the best in everything, and one of you is just dealing with that internal struggle, and finally it capsizes and you kill your own brother. And I think most of the DLC, if I remember right, or the playthrough with him is him trying to repent for what he's done. And I think it's really cool. It's poetry.
I like the aesthetics. I like how they look. They have this great design
Oh
on
yeah,
them. That
green
torso
gold.
alone would be awesome. And it's especially for those that grew up and are like super into Star Wars. Like they could really like benefit from like just taking a few. I know they did Old Republic before. They had Malik, or was it Malgus? They had Malgus. I'm sorry, Darth Malgus in his Fury class Sith infiltrator. That's a great figure. You can't get him anymore. He's so hard to get. I mean, I think when we went down to Orlando Brick Co, I pulled the box off and it was one still in the box, and it was like I was starstruck because this is one of my sets that I want like so bad.
Oh yeah.
And I think like we should have a little bit more of that because the Old Republic is still going on.
Yeah, the game is the game is still on. People are still playing the MMO, and I think it has a lot of good lore there. I mean, and so far, I mean, if it's still going, it's got to be canon, right? Like, I mean, so far in the past.
I mean, it wasn't long ago. They just released a trailer for it as well for another bit of it.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see the MMO still going strong and Star Wars products still coming out, whether they're kind of good, kind of bad. Ultimately, this list, my 6, your 6, I think are very solid choices in our opinions, and very different in the way we view things, but ultimately solid choices, I think.
I think for like of course like the idea I think is to not make it like something that would deter from the sale of battle packs. I think these should be primarily a lot like either figures that they can't get a set of or a figure variant that they have no reason to make. And people want these things. People would go die hard over all these things, especially the twins, Boba Fett, the sister, Anakin, and all that. I think a lot of the fans would appreciate something like that or something along this line, and especially if they outreach and they went to more of the things that we don't see much anymore, like the Old Republic or hell, even if they had a good figure in the New Republic era. I haven't read anything about that, but even if they have a good figure, I would like to see it in a CMF series.
Yeah, whether it be the extended universe, non-canon stuff, or old canon, or whatever it may be. It could be anything within those realms. I think it's Star Wars. Star Wars is massive. It's galaxies and it's beautiful and it's all this crazy stuff. And again, putting them into a set that they can't be in is makes no sense. Put them in a CMF. Have one come out every year, or whatever quarter, whatever they want to do, and let the fans grab what they want, man, and all the reused molds and stuff like that. I can see it happening. I wish it happens, and I hope it happens.
I mean, it's not like Disney's not going to make their money from it.
Yeah, 100%.
Disney, you can these things will sell out within 5 seconds of going live.
Shoot, your normal CMS, your normal ones can't even stay on the shelves long enough for me to find them half the time.
No, I've never been able to find them. If I find them, it's usually in an obscure store. Like if I go to a Walgreens or whatever, sometimes I'll just see one and I'll be like, what is this doing here? But if you go to like Target or anything, nope, they never have them.
Yeah, no, never. Somebody's buying the entire case, and I wish it was me.
Eventually, especially with that D&D one.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's gonna be sick. I'm not gonna lie. All right, well, I think we're gonna wrap it up today. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I think we summed up a pretty good show, and I'm enjoying the time we spent talking.
All right. So, if you guys enjoy the show, of course, leave a like and all that. If there's anything that you want to add or you want to join in on the conversation, maybe you want to give us some criticism about our show, go ahead and throw it in the comments. We try to do a show every week, and we're going to try to keep going on that boat. So, until next time, y'all have a good one and drive safe.
Oh, click it or ticket.
Click it or ticket.